The snow falls not as a storm, but as a blessing. Soft, steady, hushing the world into reverence. It dusts the fence posts, pillows the rooftops, and turns the prairie into a sea of white under a sky the color of doves' wings. Inside the Ingalls cabin, the air is thick with the scent of wood smoke, gingerbread, and pine boughs Caroline has woven into a garland above the mantel. It's Christmas Eve, 1874, but this Christmas carries a different weight, not the lightness of anticipation, but the tender ache of adjustment. Mary sits by the window, her hands folded in her lap, watching the snowflakes spiral down. She doesn't hear the wind sigh through the eaves. She doesn't hear the crackle of the fire or the soft hum Caroline makes as she stirs stew on the stove. The world that once sang to her in birdsong and hymns and Laura's laughter is now wrapped in silence. A silence she's learning to live inside, like a room with no doors. She doesn't complain. She never does, but Laura sees it. The way Mary's eyes linger on the others' mouths when they speak. The way she startles if someone touches her shoulder without warning. The quiet way she turns her face toward the window when carols are sung, as if hoping the music might somehow find its way back through the glass. Laura's heart breaks a little more each day. She wants to give Mary a Christmas that shines, not just in spirit, but in sight. She's heard the children in town talk of Christmas trees, real evergreens brought indoors, strung with candles, popcorn, and cranberries, glowing like captured stars. She's never seen one, but she imagines it, a beacon of color and light in the long winter dark. And she knows, with the fierce certainty of a sister's love, that Mary needs to see it, so she begins to save. She collects every penny from the eggs her hens lay. She trades extra chores for scraps of red ribbon. She walks the 3 miles to town, in the biting cold, to ask Mr. Olson for a spool of thread, for a special project. He even offers to sweep his store for a week in exchange for a few dried oranges to string on the tree. But when she counts her coins by lamplight, her heart sinks. It's not enough, not even close. That night, she cries into her pillow, muffling her sobs so Mary won't feel guilty. "I just wanted it to be perfect," she whispers to the dark. Then, on Christmas Eve morning, a knock. It's Mr. Edwards. He stands on the porch, snow crusted on his boots, his beard frosted white, his eyes twinkling like he's carrying a secret. In his arms, he cradles a small pine tree. Crooked, scraggly, missing half its lower branches, one side bare as a winter bone. "Found this fella wanderin' the woods," he says, grinning. "Said he was looking for a family who'd love him anyway." Laura stares. "But it's not straight, Edwards laughs, stepping inside. "Child, the best things in life ain't straight. Rivers bend. Hearts break. Trees grow crooked 'cause they're reaching for the light." He winks. "This one's got character." And just like that, the tree is home. What follows isn't grand. It's holy. Caroline boils cranberries and strings them with popcorn, her fingers sticky and red. Charles carves tiny animals from scrap wood, a horse with a flowing mane for Laura, a lamb with woolly curls for Mary. Laura ties her precious red ribbon around the top like a crown. Baby Carrie helps by patting dough into lopsided stars, her giggles silent to Mary but radiant on her face. They hang everything with care. The popcorn chains, the carved animals, the dried orange slices that smell like sunshine. And then, for just a few precious minutes, Charles lights the candles. The cabin transforms. Shadows dance on the walls like angels. Light glows in Mary's eyes, not reflected, but received. She doesn't hear the carols they sing, but she sees the love in their faces, feels the squeeze of Laura's hand, watches the firelight catch the tears on Caroline's cheeks. And in that moment, she understands Christmas isn't in the ears. It's in the eyes that see you, in the hands that hold you, in the heart that says you are still part of this joy, exactly as you are. Later, as they gather for supper, simple fare of stew and bread and gingerbread men, Charles raises his cup. "To family," he says, voice thick. "To home, Caroline adds, her hand resting on Mary's. To the tree, Laura grins, nodding at the crooked pine in the corner. Mary doesn't speak, but she lifts her hands and signs 2 words they all know by heart. Thank you. Now, Christmas at Plum Creek is more than a holiday episode. It's a quiet manifesto on the true meaning of Christmas. In 1870s America, frontier families rarely had perfect Christmases. There were no malls, no wrapped presents under electric trees, no carols on the radio. Christmas was what you made, with what you had, with who you loved, with the stubborn belief that light could be kindled even in the longest night. Michael Landon, who wrote this episode, understood that. He didn't give the Ingalls a miracle cure or a wealthy benefactor. He gave them something rarer, the courage to celebrate anyway, and Victor French, as Mr. Edwards, embodies the spirit of Christmas not as obligation, but as generous, imperfect love, the kind that shows up with a crooked tree and says, "It's not much, but it's yours." Melissa Sue Anderson, as Mary, brings a quiet grace to her silent celebration that still moves viewers to tears 50 years later. Her Christmas isn't less, it's reimagined. And in that reimagining, we see the deepest truth of the season. Love doesn't demand that you hear the song. It learns to dance with you in the silence. Today, this story echoes with gentle urgency. In a world of commercial frenzy, social media perfection, and holiday stress, Christmas at Plum Creek whispers a countercultural truth. The best gifts aren't bought. They're built with time, with attention, with the radical choice to say, "You belong here, just as you are." So, if this journey moved you, if you've ever made a Christmas out of scraps, or loved someone through their silent season, or found joy in a crooked little tree, I'd be honored to hear your story. Drop a comment below. What's your simplest, most meaningful Christmas memory? If this 52-minute storytelling of Christmas at Plum Creek warmed your heart, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to SG Top Celebrities, and hit the bell so you never miss another story that heals, teaches, and reminds us that the greatest gift we can give and receive is our presence. Thank you for sharing this quiet, sacred Christmas with the Ingalls family. As Ma once said, the best presents aren't wrapped in paper. They're wrapped in time, in care, in the quiet certainty that you are loved. Not despite your brokenness, but right in the middle of it. Until next time, may your Christmas be full of light, however you see it, feel it, or hold it close.